This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Ready for another episode of whining, complaining, debauchery, douchebaggery, all kinds of names we've been called this week online.
No, I've been called, not you. Not you.
Yeah. I mean, your takes are very real worthy, Mike. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie, and I haven't said this to you off the air either. We're friends. Don't take this wrong way, but sometimes I think you set me up. Sometimes I feel like you throw out a subject that you know is gonna get me ranting and raving just till I say something wild. And then you immediately, like, you already got it in your head. The episode ain't even over, and you already got the clipped, and the introduction made, the little thing you put up above the clip to get everybody riled up. Oh, Big Mike says you're a dope if you bowl 2 or 3 legs a week. I mean, come on, son. You're setting me up, son.
Oh my God, I'm crying right now. Okay, first off, I don't cut the clips myself. Okay, so obviously the software that I use that does it thinks that your takes are hot takes and they're gonna get responses.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna lie. This week, when I saw the clip of me talking about people that bowl 2 or 3 legs a week, I thought, did AI really clip that, or did Rob select that one?
No, that was clipped completely.
Okay, so yeah, but listen, no league report this week. Okay, I didn't bowl league this week. My younger daughter, had a holiday recital show. It was her dress rehearsal on Tuesday, so I had to be responsible for my other kid and run them around. So I took the week off from league. I'll be back this week, and then we're on break for a week, obviously, in between Christmas and the New Year. And yeah, that's it. So I want to talk about the post. I want to take the time I would give the league report, and I want to talk about the post. But I do want to remind everybody I'm averaging 202 through the first half on 3 different sport patterns. Okay, so just duly noted on that. Nonetheless, honestly, it's frustrating. It's frustrating, and I'm going to tell you why. Because people don't even listen to the full piece that I'm saying. They hear what they want to hear, and they react to something that I'm not really even saying, okay? I never said that if you bowl 2 or 3 times a week in league, it's a reflection that you don't have enough going on in your life. I didn't say that. Here's what I said. If you bowl 2 or 3 times or more a week and you never miss, you never need a week off, you never feel like, oh, I need a break, like, or I need a week where something comes up and, I have to miss, or whether you have to miss or you just need a week off. That was my point. Okay. So let me be clear about that. All right?
So
let me clear that up.
People that were hating on you, a lot of people were wondering, like, why do you care what other people do? Like, what does it matter? Why are you so concerned with other people and what they're doing?
I don't know. Why is anyone concerned with what others do? I'm a part of this. I'm a part of this community. I've been a part of this community for a long time. I know my own experiences. All right. I know my own experiences, and I see the experiences of others. And sometimes when I see the experiences of others that vary so greatly from what my own experience is or what my own take is on my experience, I can't help but comment. I'm sorry. Like, that's really the truth. I'm not that interested in what other people are doing. It's just, I wondered, and if you want me to boil that down, I will. If that was If that was too intellectual for you, let me boil it down. Okay. Here's what I'm saying. I bowl once a week, and I enjoy the sport league I'm in. But if I were bowling in a house league once a week, right? Okay, I would need a week off every once in a while because like it would just be that mentally taxing to me. So when I see someone who bowls 2 or 3 or 4 house leagues a week and never needs a week off, never takes a week off, is there every week, every league, I do think like, wow, how is that person's experience so different from mine? Why do I feel the way I feel and they feel the way they feel? And can I ask something? If you and I'll ask you, Rob, but I'm speaking to the chat here. I'm speaking to everybody. Uh, if you go up to somebody in a bowling center, you bowl in your league, and you say, "Oh, Jim, how many leagues do you bowl a week?" And they say 3 or 4 or 5, what's your reaction going to be to that?
It's a lot of leagues.
Okay, thank you. Right, I think that most people would react that way and say, "Wow, 3 leagues a week, 4 leagues a week, 5 leagues. Wow, man, that's." I mean, my reaction to that is like, "Wow, you must really love bowling league," you know. And that was really my point. Okay.
Yeah. So what I will do, I will promise you, I will clip your whole I will clip your whole argument here, and I'm gonna put that back out there. Okay.
Oh, people ain't gonna be happy.
Look, what annoys me about like the internet, and it's hard for me sometimes to sit back and let people say some stuff, is like I understand disagreeing with you. Like I understand it, right? Because I get it, right? People are their own, they do their own thing, they love league, all this stuff. But when people start like personally attacking or like name calling or insulting, like it just is like, dude, like why are you so up in arms over a 30-second reel of you saying of something about like bowling or in general? Like people, you were called lately about an hour ago on the Masters reel where you told people to not like get crazy over like getting shut out of the Masters. You got called a douchebag. We got called. I would love to read some of these comments. I'm like, holy.
No, let's
crap.
not. Let's not do that.
People are crazy. They're out of their minds. I'm like, they're name calling. They're calling us this. They're calling us that. We hate these people. Like these. We're bad for bowling. All this shit. And I'm just like, holy crap. I'm like, man, people just get all up in arms, and it's just hard for me sometimes to sit back and just let them just like name call. I do for the most part. Every once in a while, you'll see me like, I guess if I'm bored, I'm just sitting home. Like once in a while, I'll jump in, I'll make a comment, and just thank them and appreciate you for the comment and the support. Like, because you just can't get into it with some of these people. They're just kind of nuts. But
listen, I want to say, like, I respect everybody's opinion, even if you're voicing it in a way that's I feel like is coming at me directly or personally. I respect your opinion. I do. I respect people's passion. That they feel so strongly about it that they react that way. But yeah, you're certainly not going to change my opinion. I mean,
yeah,
and I'm not out here to change people's opinions either.
yo, that's Fred says in the chat, "Thou shall not insult house bowling hacks." I mean, look,
I don't. But listen, when other outlets sell a shirt that says "I hate league," okay, that says something. All right, that says something. Like I'm not the only one out here saying that league bowling is not what it once was, right? And I also think that's part of the issue. I think that it depends when your experience started with league bowling. I remember a time where you would walk into centers on a certain night, and there would be a 50, let's say 35 plus 5-man team league, and the majority of the bowlers in that league were very talented bowlers. And I'm not sure those environments exist so much anymore, right? But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that I wasn't criticizing people who bowl 2 or 3 or 4 leagues a week. I was saying I have a certain amazement, I guess, at people who bowl that many leagues a week and do it consistently for 36 weeks in a row without needing a week off, a mental health week, reasons that they're out, etc. I've talked about it ad nauseum on this podcast. Like the 36-week league format, it doesn't really make a lot of sense in our current social environment. But
you got to read Kyle's Cook. What's up, Kyle? These guys calling you names and attacking you are the same guys that wear their jersey to league night. I look, like I just if you're gonna have a bowling discussion with me on social media and you disagree with your opinion, then come have a disagreement and make some points. Like, why are you wrong? Why do I disagree with you? And have some like valid adult like arguments. And let's have an adult bowling conversation, because I will every once in a while have conversations with people in the comments. Be like, well, why is he wrong? Like, what is your what's going on? Like, but when you just come at me or come at us and just call us names, and you have no like arguments or no validity or nothing to argue against your opinion or my opinion, like I'm not gonna like engage with you, because you're just attacking us for because you disagree with us or our opinion. You got angry or you got all crazy about it, and that's all I'm asking. If you disagree, like come at us with some valid bowling topics and let's have an adult conversation. Just start name calling like you're in the 5th grade. It's crazy.
I'm all right with the name calling. You can come at me if you want. It's fine.
Yeah, but you call people dopes all the time. Like, I mean, it's just,
I mean, listen, sometimes that's what it comes down to,
It does. Sometimes, and I've learned as the social media manager of Sweep the Rack podcast, and as the one guy who runs our whole social media, I've learned to stay away from a lot of that. I stay away from a lot of it. Some of it I will engage, but I stay away from a lot of it. And look, I know posting some of those reels is gonna get some engagement. I know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm not stupid, but I want to get some bowling discussion too, right? Like, why do we disagree? People get crazy, Mike, when we talk about eliminating house shots and eliminating handicap. People get crazy. They get so angry. It's like, man, you just gotta take a breath, man.
Yeah, I want to bring this comment up. I'm going to end here, right? And we're going to wrap this up. We're going to move on after I respond to this. Dave in the chat, what's up? Dave says, what's wrong if someone doesn't miss a week in a season? It's a commitment. And if you can't commit, then why did you join? Okay. Understood. I get that. And Dave, if we're talking one league, I agree with you. If you sign up for one league, you should probably be able to make it to the vast majority of those league nights for the 36 weeks because you took on that commitment. But Dave, in asking that question, I would say that, you're not really thinking about how busy people are these days and all the other things that we have pulling us in different directions for our entertainment and for our free time. Okay. And I could give you a whole list, but just to give a couple examples, like your kids being involved in things or job responsibilities or other forms of entertainment. Okay. So again, I just think that if you're in multiple leagues a week, 3 leagues a week, let's say, and you are there every week, 36 weeks in a row, that is an amazing level of commitment to me for league bowling. So much so that I struggle to see that perspective, and that's it.
I want to pull up this point. Zachary, what's up, Zachary? No one cares. Your podcast is only negative and doing nothing to help build the sport.
Okay.
Well, guess what, Zachary? Well, guess what? You're in luck. You're in luck, Zachary Chemo Bishop. Tonight is going to be the first night where we're starting a new segment. And guess what the new segment is, Mike? It's going to be, how do we grow the sport of bowling? And what we're going to do is every week, we're going to each have one point of what we need to do to grow the sport and help grow bowling. Now, you might not like Mike's answers of how he thinks we should grow the sport. You might not like my answers of what I think we should grow the sport, but we need to have a conversation and have and talk about it and discuss like it in general. So yeah.
Zachary, I'll be honest, I get really tired of people using the word negative. I do. I think that's a dopey take to say to us. I'm just gonna call it what it is. And the reason that I say that is because just because you don't like what we have to say doesn't make it, negative. And just because something is negative doesn't mean that it's wrong or that it's bad or that people shouldn't consider it. If you go to a doctor and he gives you negative news, what are you going to do? You're just going to say, "Oh, you're being negative," even if it's true. No, you're going to react to it. You're going to respond to it. You're going to take the next steps that you need to take.
Here's the thing, like if you go to ChatGPT, and I advise everybody to do this. Go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to run you numbers of competitive bowling from 2010 to the present in the last 15 years, and give me numbers on bowling center closures, USBC membership increase or decrease, and as well as other metrics that you would want to see a sport growing or declining, and then look at what it gives you on a statistics level, and then understand like why we might be negative in certain aspects of the sports.
Fair. Okay. Are we ready to move on?
We're ready to move on because we have a big schedule to talk about, Mike.
Dave is in the chat saying, grow the sport by getting rid of house shots. Dave, Zachary's going to call you negative. I'm just telling you. I mean, really, this is why I'm tired of it. Like, Dave, I agree. I even joked with Rob. Did I not, Rob? Didn't I joke with you that my first example of this week for our new segment was going to be to get rid of house shots? And it's not going to be. But, Dave, I'm on the same page with you. But if you say that, then everyone's gonna yell at you and call you names and say that you're negative. And yeah, I get tired of it. I do. Like, just because people don't want to hear it doesn't make it negative, and it doesn't make, well, maybe it does make it negative, but it doesn't make it untrue. Okay. So, all right, let's move on. We have a lot of
Dave gets what's up, Dave? I say try to make the perfect lane pattern that everyone shoots 300. I mean, that would be anyway. We'll talk more about this, and I like this segment because I feel like it's going to open up a lot of like discussion points.
Oh, Mike McClure's in the chat saying high school bowling absolute boom in his area, and actually, my idea for tonight's first segment of how to improve the game is related to high school bowling. Okay, it's related to high school bowling. So stick around, and I'll have some thoughts on how we can use high school bowling to improve bowling in general. But all right, Rob, let's move forward. We have a lot. We have a lot to get to. We want to go over the PBA schedule.
We do.
We kind of have a clear picture of what things are going to look like this year.
We do.
But before we do that, I want to jump into this aspect first. Okay. They have a casino partner.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
They have a casino partner. Okay. Now, I'm not familiar with this outlet. What's it called? Legends, right? Legends.
I think Legends with like a Z.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. If anybody's familiar in the chat, please fill us in.
Is it like that casino that when you're driving to Vegas, you see, and like as soon as you cross into Nevada state lines,
is it like the casino that Clark Griswold goes to in National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation?
$1.50 hot dog and beer and a free play of $25. Like, the casinos that are little like local, not bad either. I love those type of big casinos.
Okay, so I don't know. Do you have thoughts on this? Or I mean, I don't know enough about this outlet to say, but I guess we could talk best case, worst case, right? Like best case scenario, maybe this gives us a serious outlet to bet on bowling on a very regular basis.
Do they have like a national exposure for like applications over an iPhone to bet?
I don't know. I mean, you would think that they do, right? I mean, if they're getting into this, worst case scenario is it's meaningless, right? Worst case scenario is like they're not even posting odds. They don't have an app. I remember back when bowling was on ESPN and they were trying to let you bet on ESPN had their own betting app, and they were trying to let you bet on there, and it wasn't working out. And I could imagine that this could be something like that on the worst end, but on the best end, maybe it gives us a regular, reliable, really good. And again, shout to Bet Rivers because they've been that for the last couple of years. And I'll be honest, Rob, I wish the PBA would have went to them and done something with them because they were really the first online sports book to show that kind of interest. But if this new partner for the PBA can provide something equal to or greater than what Bet Rivers was giving us, I would view that as a huge positive. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, why can't they do both? Like, why can't? Does that mean like Bet Rivers is out? I mean, there's a lot of questions. I think we need to like
No, it
wait and
doesn't.
see.
Obviously, it doesn't. Right? The NFL has their betting partner, but everybody offers odds on the NFL, right? So, okay, but this brings me to my next point. Okay, and comment on this if you want. If they have this betting partner, I would love to see the PBA make betting more part of the show, as we've discussed in the past, and promote Legends, right? Promote Legends Casino online, whatever it's going to be, right? I don't want to say too much. I don't know too much about it. Promote that through the PBA and the show, and getting more involved in the promotion of betting on bowling.
I was hoping that they would give them like I had that idea a while back where maybe they give them their own tournament. Like you call it the Legends Casino Open or something, and you have it wherever their corporate or wherever their like main hub is, and then you have literally a pro national tournament that is all about like the odds and make it a betting friendly format with a lot of live betting and a lot of other things. So yeah, it's a wait and see, Mike.
I hear you on that, but see, to me, that's just like it's just one event in a vacuum.
Well, you got to start somewhere, baby.
I know. What I want to see is weekly, though. I would love to see them integrate this partner, this betting partner.
I think you got to slow down your expectations.
Basis.
Sean Rash,
what's up, Mr. Rash?
In the chat, what's going on, man?
So even if it's a 10-minute segment, even if it's a 5-minute segment before the show, just so people can become familiar with, yes, you can bet on this. Here are some ideas of what to bet on. Here's our betting partner. If you want to go do that, log on. And this is the offer that we're giving to anybody who's logging on to bet on the PBA. Just something like that. I think that could go a long way in being the first step down a road that might actually lead to the PBA getting some serious interest, right? So that's the first thing I wanted to point out there. You guys know me. I like to bet. I like to wager, especially on bowling. So when I saw that in everything that was released, that's what struck me the most, right? Is like, hey, now they have this partner, that is involved in gambling and betting on the sport, and I'm really excited to see where they could take this, right, and what they could do with this. So yeah,
dude, what's up, Bowling with Diallo? I vote for Rob for commissioner. I'll bet. I'll say
thanks,
one thing though.
Thanks.
Now, Mike, people hate him from the reels, man. Nobody wants to see him as commissioner. I'll tell you one thing. I would shake things up if I was commissioner. I would. It would definitely look a lot different, and there'd be a lot of changes. But unfortunately, as commissioner, I think you're still handcuffed with Bolero hovering over you on a lot of things. I think Tom Clark gets a lot of shit for things, but I think there's a lot of things that he has no control over these days.
Okay. Are we ready to go through the schedule now?
We're ready. So let me know where you want to start, because let's start, February, right? That's when the tour starts, 16th. They're starting with a major, Mike, the PBA Players Championship. It's going to be in Arlington, Texas. We know 100,000 for first, and we know the format is going to be probably similar to a lot of what is normally out there, where they're just having some qualifying and then match play rounds. And the finals are on CW at 3 p.m. on the 22nd.
So I was going to say, what are we calling this portion of the schedule? Are we going to refer to this as the CW portion of the schedule?
Yeah, because they have like 8 or 10 shows, right, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So right. So we start off with the CW portion of the schedule, which is going to be about 10 consecutive weeks of PBA bowling live on the CW network. Okay. So
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Sorry. I just realized that the second tournament is called the Legends PBA Pete Weber Missouri Classic, Mike.
Okay.
So, yeah, I didn't even realize that until I just saw that, which is the second tournament on the 24th.
Okay. So that's the first two. We start out with a major again. We've discussed, right, multiple times how we're not real fans of opening up the season with a major. But okay, so open with the major, then you go into the next event. What's the format on the next event, Rob?
Actually, this is a bracket, best of 7.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a strict bracket. So the P. Weber, the Legends tournament is literally, it starts as like a left side of the bracket, best of 7 on Wednesday, and then it goes into a winner's bracket and a contenders bracket for literally 3 days of just best of 7 and best of 7 matches and some race to 2 matches.
Okay.
So let's hope the betting is live for that one, because there's a lot of opportunity to bet on those 3 days of best of 7 matches, Mike. That could be a great format.
Yeah, and I mean, you would think if that tournament has the partner's name on it that's involved in gambling, that's something that they're going to want to promote there.
Yeah, and that's being held at St. Peter's, Missouri, at Bolero St. Peter's.
Okay, now one thing I notice
Mhm.
about the information they put out so far is that this small. Can you look up the prize on the first major, Rob? What's first place on the first major?
It just says 100,000 for first.
Okay, all right. So it's still 100,000 for the major. These smaller events are 30,000 for first. Right,
Correct.
1 in 3 players will cash. Now, I guess, I mean, I'm sure it's there's a reason behind it, but why they would only list the first place prize and just the cashing ratio, usually that's not the case. They usually have a longer list of what the prizes are going to be. But okay, all right. So we go major. Then we go Pete Weber Missouri Classic. Okay, the show on that is going to be when? March 1st, I believe.
March 1st, CW.
Okay, CW March 1st, and that
Mhm.
is at 3 p.m.
Correct.
Okay, then we go right into another major.
We do. They're going to
US
US Open.
US Open.
They're
One
going
of the
back to
best weeks in
Woodland.
bowling. Okay.
Yeah. It's actually at a different bowling center this year, though, from my understanding, because this is saying Royal Pin Woodland in Indianapolis, which is the host center. Last year was at Woodland Bowl in Indy. So different bowling centers, but they're both in Indy. Same type of schedule, I think, the US Open. I don't think the format changed on any of that. So you're looking at a top 24 match play probably.
Yeah, and they don't have, I mean, you have to link to bowl.com to get any of the information on the prize fund on that. Does anybody in the chat know if the USBC is still paying 100,000 for first for the majors? If we could find that out, that would be great.
I would guess it would be, though. I wouldn't say it wouldn't be.
Then we go into the Dave Smalls swing. Okay. God bless this guy, Dave Small.
Yeah.
Okay. God bless this guy. I mean, he has been a name that I have heard numerous times in supporting professional bowling over the last few years. I would say Dave Small and his centers, Charlie at Bayside in Maine, and the people out in Bethlehem. Those three groups, really supportive of the PBA. So you have one event, the PBA.
Well, real quick, I want to correct myself, because Rash is saying it's the same center. So Royal Pin Woodland is the same center as Woodland Bowl. So I don't know if the name changed on that, or I'm just had two different, something wrong. So I apologize.
Okay.
Looks like the same center.
So PBA Illinois Classic is going to be March 9th through 15th. Okay.
Correct. With a PTQ. By the way, there's PTQs for all of those.
Right, and this is going to be another match play tournament, best of, where the
No.
competition is going to be best of. Okay,
But there is qualifying though for this one. When in the Legends there wasn't.
right, there's qualifying rounds.
For the Legends there wasn't.
No, okay.
Not that
So
it's show here, just went right into the bracket.
okay, so yeah, but you're going to get bracket match play here.
Yeah, best
Right,
of
you're gonna
7.
best of 7 all the way through, and then the highest seeded loser in the round of 8 will still make the show. Okay, and that show is going to be the 15th at 3 p.m. So the the um the point here to me is that you see the consistency in the day and the time that professional bowling is going to be on TV. Okay,
Which is
it's
great.
Sunday starting in February, going through, and it's 3 p.m. and it's on the CW network.
Which is great. And I'm very happy about that. And look, everybody, we're being positive. We're being positive, Mike. We like something. Who'd have thought? But I like the live bowling at the same time. It reminds me of the old Saturday afternoon Wide World of Sports ABC shows when you knew what time it was coming on every week.
Okay, then we're there at another Dave Small Center the following week for
The Indiana Classic.
Indiana Classic, right? And
Yeah.
this one, not to be a Debbie Downer, sorry, but this is the format I don't really care for. Okay, where they're
carryover elimination.
Yeah, elimination rounds and the pins carry over, right? So a little bit less exciting there, but that show, right? Following week, okay, the show is going to be March 15th, 4 p.m. on the CW network. Okay,
Yeah.
so a little bit of a
curveball, a little bit. And Yellow Magic saying the TOC's at 1 p.m. All right, so we're getting an idea. It's going to be in the afternoon. It's going to be in that time window, right? In the afternoon.
Okay, so next up, another major, USBC Masters. It's at Thunderbowl in Michigan this year. Okay, and again, you have to link to the USBC for all of that in terms of scheduling and whatnot. But that show is going to be on the 29th. All right, so that will be again the following week. All right, but then we're only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks into the season.
You have 3 majors.
We've had 3 majors down already.
Mm.
Whew. Somebody just asked, like, what do you not like about the schedule? I really like this first part of the schedule a lot. I'll have a little bit more criticism for the second part of the schedule that's going to be on CBS Sports. But yeah, I just think having 3 majors in the first 6 or 7 events is just a lot, man. I mean, you really better come out with your A game here because it's a sprint. This is a sprint. So okay.
I mean, I guess you're gonna have 4 majors, and the schedule only goes from like February to May, right? I mean, you have to put the majors somewhere, right? So I guess that's my if the schedule was longer, and let's just say it was February to like July or February to August, I would love to see those majors broken up by like quarters, right? Like,
yeah, well, but
it's not that like that.
The point there to me is that isn't that a result of them having to be with 2 different networks?
What do you mean?
You have the CW network who's airing a portion of the season,
Mm-hmm.
and you have the CBS Sports Network that's airing a portion of the season. And obviously the CW network is going to want a bulk of these competitions, right? And they're going to want the schedule to look this way, and CBS Sports is going to want something else. And because of that, you kind of have to arrange the schedule this way. If the CW wants 10 weeks of straight bowling and these events included, then it's going to have to do that, right? But with the CBS Sports Network, that deal is going to look different. Okay, and that deal is more centered around the World Series of Bowling, which is still going to include the major of the World Championship, obviously. But if the schedule was with all one network, and Robert Hamilton is pointing out that the CW is part of CBS. I get it. I guess what I'm saying is if the whole schedule is going to be on one network as opposed to two, whether they're under the same umbrella or they're not. If the whole schedule is going to be on one network, I think it would be a lot easier to space things out if you wanted. Because as you're saying, like the CW season is running from February to May, right? But really, then you're also going to have that CBS portion where if they were all together, you might be able to have some of these events that are included in this 10-week portion in that and split them up a little bit.
Gotcha.
Okay. Next up, after the Masters, is the PBA Ohio Classic.
Mm-hmm.
This is at Columbus Square Bowling Palace in Columbus, Ohio. All right, schedule on this one is another elimination. It's another pins carryover elimination, and this is going to air on Sunday, April 5th at 4:00 again on the CW. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these elimination carryovers.
I know. Tell me about it. It's just too boring to watch. It is. I'm sorry. It's too boring to tune in on Bowl TV. You know, there often is too much of a separation between the cut line and who's out of it and who's in it, and it's hard to follow because of the pins carrying over, and it doesn't create a lot of opportunities for betting. And I would get rid of that format if I could, but it is. I understand you want a little variety, and I understand that the players don't constantly want to be bowling match play best of 7 where you're on one pair with one player. I understand the factors at play. I just think more about the viewer aspect than I do about anything else, right?
But you know what I say about that? I say, sorry, players. I don't really care how you feel. It's about giving the fans.
You would. This is why the people want you as the commissioner.
No, but it's about giving the fans this a better experience watching from home and at the bowling center themselves too. I think match play it's a better entertainment product for the PBA.
Okay. Next up, we're getting into April here, April 6th through April 12th. You have the New York Open. Okay. Now I was hoping this was going to be somewhere around North Jersey, New York, but it's not. It's Rochester, New York. I got to check the soccer schedule. We play a team from Rochester. Maybe we'll be out there that weekend. That would be nice.
Yeah, and this is a best of 7, so they went back to match play for this one, and all these tournaments, these PBA tournaments, seem to be first place at 30,000.
Yep.
These CW shows, and I have to say, I'm happy about that. I was afraid that these tournaments were going to be less money, these CW tournaments, and when we found out they were leaving Fox and we started talking about all the what ifs and are these tournaments going to be 10,000 and 15,000, and you kind of like to see 30,000. I mean, yeah, I'd like to see 50, of course, but 30 it's good. It's good money. I'm not disappointed on that aspect of it.
Okay, so PBA New York Classic, that airs, I believe, at 1 p.m. It said on April 12th. Then the PBA Tour is headed back to Bayside Bowl, and this is going to be a great event. I'm excited for this event. It's the Roth Holman doubles, okay, and that's going to be, like we said, at Bayside Bowl. Schedule for that is a best of 7. Baker best of 7.
This could be the best event of the year.
I know. Baker best of 7 at Bayside Bowl, okay, and that show live on the CW 4 p.m. Now I want to check something real quick. Hold on.
So
because it says, hold on.
What?
Okay, yeah. So it says that most of these shows are live as well, so that's good to see. But that will be on the 19th at Bayside.
Ooh, Baker best of 7 bracket. If there's any time you want to get a Bowl TV streaming subscription, it's for that tournament, and let's hope that there is a betting outlet, because betting on Roth Holman doubles Baker bracket in best of 7 matches would be would be a blast. It would be so much fun.
I gotta look up, I gotta look up what my spring break is.
But yeah, if you can get a chance to get out there, Mike, for a few days, especially during the bracket, like on that Thursday or Friday, to watch those matches, I think that would be a great spectator experience.
No good. I got an early spring break this year. It's looking like.
Sean doesn't like the format. I don't think.
No, okay.
Yeah, well, him and Ogle are really good in that tournament, so they probably don't like seeing that. But hey, man, like you love match play more than anybody, I think. So I think you guys will be okay.
For the fans, I think that's a super exciting format.
Oh, that's a home run for the fans.
And I think it presents a lot of opportunities for the hypeness to come out in the players too, being at Bayside and it being match play, best of 7, Baker team. Woo!
I know.
You have some fire there. I'm also going to say this. I'm going to tease something. I don't know when I'll be able to give this, but I'm going to tease this. The biggest news that you could expect in the PBA doubles world is going to break at some point.
You can't just throw something like that out there and like.
Well, I'm just letting you know. I want people to know where they heard it first. Okay,
but they didn't hear anything.
Well, when the timing's right, I'll try and be the first to put it out there. Okay.
So there's going to be breaking big news in the PBA doubles aspect of the tour.
In the arrangement of teams, yes.
Oh, you mean like who's bowling with who?
Yes.
Oh, I think I can make a guess.
Don't.
I'm not, but I think I can make a guess.
Don't. You can talk to me off the air.
I know. I already know. I don't know, but I know. So
I don't know if you know. Man. I wouldn't be surprised if you know, but I don't know if you know.
Jesus Christ, we're talking about nothing right now. All right, let's move on.
I'm just telling you. Remember who gave you that crumb.
Let's move on.
All right, and then finally, the Tournament of Champions. Okay, Tournament of Champions, Fair Lawn, Ohio. We were there last year, Rob.
We were
there. The PBA Hall of Fame banquet is at the beginning of the season this year.
I know.
I looked it up. It's before the first event in Texas. It's not at the Tournament of Champions, which makes me a little bit upset. That was a great event. But PBA Tournament of Champions, April 20th to April 26th, Fair Lawn, Ohio. You're talking round robin match play. Okay, traditional, love it. Okay, so yeah.
So Tobias in the chat says blind draw. That would be crazy. Could you imagine if everybody got into a bucket and they just put names into a fishbowl and started drawing doubles teams? That would be, and stream it. That would be awesome. I would be in for that.
That would be lunacy.
Yeah, I just seeing some people get paired with each other would be. I mean, you could just take some guesses on some of the doubles teams that would be interesting that you could probably think of, but
true.
Yeah.
All right, so that will wrap up the first part of the season. Okay.
Yeah, and then it's funny because the World Series of Bowling starts only like a few days after the TOC, Mike.
Okay, so go ahead. Let's give the schedule for that.
Let me get to it here because I don't unfortunately have it memorized. So April 29th is when the qualifying starts, or April 30th. It goes 4 animal championships and qualifying and match play from April 30th to May 7th. And then from May 9th to May 12th is the animal championships finals broadcasts. So they're running the TV, kind of like what they did last year, I would imagine. Sounds like. And then and then it goes May. And this can't be right. It says June. Is this right? Because now I'm getting my information wrong here. It says June 11th to June 12th World Championship match play rounds. It's not going a whole month, right? Sorry, I'm all screwed up here. Because it's funny. It's the World Series of Bowling is not on the PBA website. The schedule,
right.
So like you have to try to find it somewhere else. And I tried to find it somewhere else, and it doesn't look like my information's correct.
Yeah,
So
the big takeaway that I had from the CBS Sports portion, the World Series portion of this schedule, is that there's going to be a lot of bowling on TV. There's going to be hours of bowling on TV for nights in a row. And I don't know, like, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I'm kind of 50-50 on that.
Well, we talked about last week, like it depends what they do with the shows.
Right. And I almost feel like is it a bad thing because it shows that the PBA and its product is being used as filler? Or is it a good thing because it gives you a lot of time to create exposure and, like you said, do something with the shows? And, if you're coming off the 10 shows on the CW and you can get people into the betting and you can let them know that, hey, even though we're not going to be on the CW anymore, we're going over here and you can still bet. I don't know. I could see positives and negatives on both sides, right? But I did take note of that when I looked at the schedule, that there's going to be an awful lot of bowling on night after night for numerous hours in a row. Now, for me, that's great. I love it. I mean, I'm a hardcore fan of bowling. I'll try and clear my schedule on those nights to be able to watch as much as I can, or I will DVR it and I'll stay off of social media and I'll come home and watch it right away. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a tough sell to get people to sit down and watch that much bowling that many nights in a row. I feel like, so I tend to lean more towards well, it's not a great thing because they seem to be using it as filler. Rash is responding in the chat saying, yeah, the TV final is in June. The World Championship final is in June.
Yeah, I was just looking at when the actual World Championship match play was, and this is saying that was in June, and that's why it kind of confused me, because the shows might be in June, but I don't think the match play and the actual bowling to get to the show would be in June. But yeah, I'd have to check on that. I apologize. I wish I had a clearer schedule of what was happening with the World Series, but they haven't posted it on the website yet. So I'd have to find the article that it was released. Look, when it comes to filler, I didn't get a chance to look and see when of these 5 you said there's 5-hour shows going on, right? Where they putting on bowling for 5 hours.
Yeah, from what I viewed of the schedule when they released the information, I believe that there were going to be several nights where there were going to be consecutive shows. Yes, like a semifinals going into the finals.
Oh, like Sean's saying that they don't have a schedule either, so maybe that's why I'm a little bit in the gray here. But I don't know what you do with a 5-hour show. I know we talked about a little bit about it last week, but I really hope that they just don't put bowling on for 5 hours. I think you gotta use the time creative. I don't know, try some different. I don't have the answers to that, but I know 5 hours of just straight bowling, of just players bowling, it's like you said, hard to keep viewers engaged for that much time, including myself.
Yeah, 31 hours. 31 I looked up some of the press releases here, right? The Pro Bowling Association and CBS are expanding their media rights partnership with a 2-year extension that vastly increases coverage of the sport's biggest events. In all, 31 hours of PBA action will be available across CBS Sports Network, and Paramount Plus, centering around 2 of the biggest moments on the calendar: the PBA World Series of Bowling and the new PBA Commissioner's Cup. Okay, so that's included in this as well. And the Commissioner's Cup is obviously the previous event that was the PBA Tour Finals, right?
Yeah,
I believe I'm right about that.
Yeah, and there's people in the chat too talking about how the PBA 50. I'm happy to see the PBA 50 show. I know there's a show for the PBA 50. I think that's really cool. I think that has a chance to bring a lot of viewership in, especially if you have a lot of nostalgic players making the shows.
Yeah, I want to continue from this article here. The World Series of Bowling began in 2009. Now includes 4 animal patterns. Blah blah. In 2026, the preliminary and championship rounds will air on CBS Sports Network. The PBA World Championship will air live on CBS with simultaneous streaming on Paramount Plus. Okay, so yeah, I'm right. They're going to use a lot of time, and there's going to be coverage of the preliminary rounds. All right. The 8 bowlers. Oh, okay. Commissioner's Cup, right? The 8 bowlers who emerge from the qualifying rounds take part in televised finals, which will air with 9 hours of live coverage on CBS Sports Network on June 7th and 8th. I mean, that's not really a change because the PBA Tour Finals, even though they're calling it something different, the PBA Tour Finals still took up a lot of time over a weekend, right? I went to that the last couple of years, and I believe that's going to be back at Steel City Bowls and Brews. So that should be another good event too. But again, how many hours can you run bowling? And really really keep the people there, right?
Yeah, I think they got to just try to do, like I said, break it up, do some different things. I don't have the answers to that, but we'll see what happens. Like historically, Mike, they would just throw bowling on for like hours.
Our people in the chat are the best. You guys are the best. Charlie Tapp just sent me something through text, right? And I wanna share this with everyone. I don't know where you found this, Charlie. I guess this must have been in the PBA's press release of their partnership with the Legends Casino, right? And I had not seen this previous to him sending this to me. I only saw the piece on the schedule, right? So let's see. Legends. This is basically the title is Legends to become official social casino and sports book of the PBA. Legends will become the official social casino and sports book of the PBA Tour as part of a sponsorship agreement for the 2026 season. Legends offers a free-to-play social casino experience featuring a wide selection of casino games, live tables, original titles, and a full sports book. Available in 37 states, Legends is focused on creating a welcoming community for everyday players to enjoy casual social entertainment through a secure sweepstakes model built on fairness and fun. Okay, not totally clear on what that means. I skipped down to this. This is the really interesting part. And again, Charlie, thank you for sending this to me. Tell me where you heard this idea, Rob. Before each televised championship round, Legends will provide live odds prior to the telecast airing. Legends will be the title sponsor of the PBA Pete Weber Missouri Classic, which will be held at Bolero, St. Peter's, and St. Peter's, Missouri. Our partnership with Legends allows our fans to engage one of the leaders in the sports betting industry. We're excited to work with Legends on creating exciting ways for PBA fans to find their love of professional bowling with a fun and responsible live sports betting experience. Legends will receive additional on-air digital and social marketing integrations co-branded with the PBA and Lucky Strike.
But does it say like if you're out of state, you're going to be able to make bets, or is that just going to be people that are like live there?
No, I think it's available in 37 states. It said.
Oh, okay. We'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, so interesting that they're going to have the portion of each show. It sounds like is going to give live odds for betting. They also mentioned live betting. Are we going to be able to live bet these shows? Are we going to be able to live bet on who's going to strike or not on the next shot? That would be incredible. I feel like.
Yeah, I doubt with that stuff, but I would imagine you could bet like for the matches. The interesting part of this Pete Weber tournament is, Mike, if you're ranked 33rd in the world, like essentially you have to like bowl a PTQ to get in.
Okay.
Because like they're calling it a classic play in round. The players ranked 33 to 75 on the 2025 PBA Tour point list. These are people that are eligible to bowl the Classic Play-In round. Top 3 from collegiate points, top 3 finishers from RPI, winners of PBA National Tour titles in 10 years, Hall of Famers, PBA Tour Superior Performance category only, PBA Tour medical exemptions and commissioners exemptions. So if you're ranked 33rd, you have to literally go into a play-in Classic Play round to get into that bracket, which is kind of interesting.
Okay.
Jimmy's saying like, come on, fellas, bowling on TV a bad thing? What do you think? You think they will be advertising Legends?
You would think so. You would hope so. Bring the bettors in, bro.
Hopefully.
Bring the gamblers in.
Yeah. So overall, though, the tour seems to wrap up, what is that, like mid-June? Just for probably in the sake of like player of the year type stuff. I know there's some other tournaments usually off after in the midsummers and the Lucy doubles and then the Lucky, right? The Lucky Larsons, all that stuff. But ultimately we have bowling from end of February to about June's pretty straight through. Let me ask you on a kind of a high level type question here. Do you like the tour being like an end of February straight through for like till June type format? And then we kind of have nothing for almost, how long does it feel like they're off season, Mike? A while, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is a deep question, I feel like, because do I like it? Yes. But do I feel like there needs to be more outlets for these bowlers at this level to compete outside of that? Yes. And I don't mean that it has to be on TV or that it has to be, the prize funds that we're talking about here, but you definitely need something outside of the schedule, the TV schedule, the broadcasted schedule, to supplement that schedule. No question about that.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's hard. One of my questions I would ask if we had somebody on is that, is it more beneficial for you to be on tour and not home for 4 months and then being home for 8 months or whatever? And is it probably beneficial as you could find some secondary income somewhere, right? Like, or would you rather be almost half the year? I don't know. I just trying to think of it as like being on tour for 4 months, not being home, and then being home for like 7 or 8 months, and then being back on tour for 4 months. I would guess that's kind of hard, no?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there's pros and cons to both. Michael Eads in the chat, Mike, what's up, says the
Michael,
regionals need to grow more into some bigger events, live streamed, and I definitely agree with that, Mike.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Over the last couple of years, we saw that, right? At one point, a few years ago, there were some quote unquote super regionals that were paying 10,000 for first and counting as a title, right? And they were live streamed and through the PBA services, and I wouldn't mind seeing some of that come back, right? Like the in Delaware was one of them. Middletown, Delaware was one of them. Now, the last year or two, that Middletown, Delaware tournament actually became part of the regular schedule, right? So it went away from that super regional, right, and it became like a national thing. I wouldn't mind bringing some of those back. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Like, you need to supplement this schedule with other things. But I know from the player's perspective that unless the event pays a certain amount, you're not going to attract players from a wide net across the country, just because of the cost of flights and hotels and staying at a place, even if the tournament is only 3 or 4 days. If guys feel like they have to finish in the top 5 or top 6 to break even or make a little bit of money, you're probably not going to get a wide net of players across the country. So, when you see these national tour events only paying 30,000 for first, which I don't mean to say that as, 30,000 is not good, because I think for like you said earlier, Rob, for where we're at, it is pretty good. But I do feel like you're in a tough spot because how much is a quote unquote super regional going to pay if the national event is paying 30 grand, right? Once you get below probably 25, 20 grand, it's really not worth it. Again, not just considering first place, but say fifth place, sixth place. It's really not worth it for players that have to pay for an expensive flight and multiple days of hotels to come out and bowl those, right? So, yeah, they're not in the best spot.
Yeah, and I don't want to be negative, Mike, because I feel like now that's in my head. But the regional like program for the PBA, it needs to be reevaluated by the PBA and how they run regionals, how the territories are set up, the finances of it, the money, the format. I think it needs to be reevaluated. I'm not saying it needs to be burnt down and start and restarted, but I do feel like there needs to be some changes that help the players, that they can make more money, make it more appealing for amateurs to get their cards, right? And I don't feel like, at least in my experience, especially bowling on the West Coast, the regional territory and the way the regionals are set up in his territory are really there. It's not appealing for weekend amateur warriors to get their pro card and pay the PBA and go bowl these tournaments. And it's just there's too many miles. There's not enough money. It's a long 2 days, and you have to travel on top of it. So you have to essentially take off of work on Friday or half day Fridays to drive. It's not a very appealing, beneficial program for the PBA, and I think it needs to be really looked at and reevaluated.
No doubt. Here's my big question here. Is this the PBA's last shot?
Ooh, talk about negative. Talk about negative. Look out, people in the chat and the reels. I'm gonna post that question only.
Oh, I know you are. I'm
cutting that out, and
for this one.
I'm blasting that all over social media tomorrow. Is this their last shot with the TV deal, essentially?
Is this the last shot to either create buzz and get something going around the PBA as far as their exposure on TV, or is this it? And if they can't get it done here, we're looking at an internet future.
No, no, I don't think so. I think there's too much like history with the PBA and being on TV and having some good ratings, right? Like showings on some of the shows, having a lot, like some really big shows they've had, where I think other networks will take a shot at it. So no, I'm gonna say no, and I don't know though. It's a good question. What do you think? Oh, here we go.
Mr. Positivity. Now you don't want to hear my answer to this.
I do, because I'm being honest though. I think that there will still be networks out there that will give the PBA.
Robert Hamilton is answering it for you, Rob. He says, honestly, the PBA has been on every single major TV station: CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox, ESPN. Okay, now it's CW. All right. Yes, guys. Listen, I'm sorry if you don't want to hear the reality. I'm sorry. But yes, this is it. This is the last shot. We better get it right. The players better come with an attitude of entertainment value.
Ooh, okay? See, that's a big that's a big statement, because
I'm hoping to see different things done with the shows. Let's switch it up. Let's do something different. Rob wants to come on here and act like Mr. Positivity, but I'm gonna call you out for something that you sent me behind the scenes this week. You sent me the clip of the dark guy smashing his hand through a table.
No. You're
and
totally.
the hypeness of the dark. Then, listen.
I've never shied away from that opinion about people breaking things on TV and fights, right, and arguments and all kinds. I mean, I'm the guy who wrote an article that said that the WWE should be more like the PBA, and now you're telling me that I'm shying away from that opinion. You're crazy, dude.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you realize as well as I do that the entertainment value of the product that they're putting out there has to go up.
Yes, of course it does. And there's only really a few ways to do that, because guess what? And I'm going to get on my high horse now for all the people out there that are going to call me names. Bowlers bowling and throwing a ball down a lane and knocking 10 pins down ain't going to do it. Ain't going to do it. Do you know what does it? Fans invested in the players showing emotions, players getting a little bit annoyed, a little bit angry, controversy, storylines, drama. That's what brings entertainment, not just your robot throwing it down the lane, throwing a strike and walking away looking like a zombie. Right, Robbie Rob. I like that Robbie Rob. What up? Good of PW. Look at the PDW moment. Who do you think you are? I am. What do you think that's been shown all over every bowling and every media every time the year anniversary? Because that's what brings entertainment, not just a robot throwing a ball down the lane and walking back and being like, "Oh, I just threw." That's not going to do it. Yes, drama, Sean Rash. Sean knows a little bit about drama. And that's the thing is the players that are out there that are not guys like you and Kyle and guys that are just there to win and they have to keep their emotions in check. It tends to be a boring show. It's a boring show.
Yeah. Well, and Sean asked in the chat, what if you get in trouble for that? All right, I hear you, Hoss. And if that's the direction they're going in, then they're going to fail. They're going to fail.
That's why I should be commissioner, Mike. Because I would go to Bolero and I'd say, look, we need to bring in a little bit of more of an edgy, we need to bring an edgy telecast. And
Jimmy Hayes in the chat saying, give every bowler one free finable offense on TV. Love it. One free get out of jail free.
Give him two. All right, Mike. I want to still get into that segment. And it's already been an hour or so.
All right, let's go. Dude, I got a short week this week. I only got a day and a half. I'm all yours, Rob. I'm here for as long as you need me, bro. It's only 6 o'clock out by you, bro.
No, it's 7.
It's 7. I already hit my parlay for the day. Okay, so that's wrapped up. I only got a day and a half of work this week.
Let's read some of the chat here because Robbie Rob's like, Pete Weber is the original Hulk Hogan. David Napoleon says that we need more water bottle incidents. G. Bryant, what's up, G. Bryant? The Draymond Green effect, let them do as much as they can without crossing the line. I really like that. The Draymond Green effect, Mike. Let them do as much as they can without crossing the line. And I think, yes, I think they need to bring, but here's the thing is, trust me, if you would have asked Tom Clark, if you would have asked people that are running these shows, they want that in a sense, right? And I don't know how much they could push the line and all that stuff, right, without getting fined and all that fine stuff. I got in trouble last time I talked about all that stuff from the PBA, but they need to figure out a way to push the players in a sense, right? Just push them to be a little bit more edgy.
So they need to create the environment.
Yes.
They need to create the environment. They need to make some changes to the show to create a better environment for the players to do what you're saying they should do.
Yeah, and I think
you can't have everyone sitting there in dead silence 2 feet away from the players and expect that there's going to be a lot of noise and emotion, and it can't be that way. I've said it already. I've talked about it a lot. watch the darts telecast. Set it up similarly to that. Create the environment. Create the environment. If you create the environment, the players will play into that. We've seen it with Bayside before. Yeah, we've seen it with Bayside. You even saw it at that arena finals for the PWBA. You saw it there. If you create the right environment, the right things happen, but you got to create that environment.
My concern is, though, Mike, is that's a lot of the PBA players just don't have them in it. They don't have it in them. They just don't have it in them. They're not.
They have it in them. They have it in them.
No, only a few. Yeah. Only a few do. Only a few.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
I could name a lot more players on the PBA tour. If I went through the list of the let's just say top 32 that don't have it in them, and in a small percentage that do have that dog in them a little bit.
Okay, all right. Let me use Kingpin to answer your claim there. Right, in that final scene, it's only Ern McCracken going crazy. It's only Ern McCracken going crazy, right?
We're really doing this Kingpin reference.
Yeah, Roy Munson isn't going crazy. He's staying stoic, right? And it's Ern McCracken going crazy, and everybody loved it, right? PDW, people brought him up. A lot of those instances, the other bowlers sitting there. I mean, Mike Fagan sat there stone-faced and stoic while Pete Weber lost his mind. Right? And people don't care. It's like you only need one side of it, Rob. You don't need both. You only need one. So, like, you're right. While there might be some players who are not going to engage anybody on any of that, if you have the other side and you have one player going crazy and getting in the guy's face and talking to him, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it, son? How are you going to answer me on that one, son? How are you going to do it? That's all you need. Even if the other guy sits there stoically and doesn't say a word, if you have that one guy who's out of his mind and is providing that type of entertainment and bringing things to that level, that's all you need.
I'm going to end this on one moment, and we've said this 1,000 times on this show. The Ernie Schlegel, Randy Peterson moment will go down as the greatest. And that, to me, is the only probably moment above the P. Weber moment. There is no better moment of something happening live on television with drama, entertainment, than Ernie Schlegel running around like an idiot.
It was awesome.
It was Muhammad Ali.
It was awesome. I mean, it's like forget about bowling. Like it was a great sports moment.
And I wish that got played. I wish that got played more than that PDW moment of who do you think you are? I wish that was the moment that was shown across all the reels and social media every year, because you don't see that a lot, but you see the PDW moment.
But I'll give you another one. I mean, even like another one that ranks up there for me is when Mika missed the 10-pin to lose the U.S. Open, right?
Yeah, but that's not even like. To me, that's not even a top 3 to 5.
Oh, no, see, I disagree. Like the drama can be there, but listen, I love the people in the chat. Matt, what's up, Matt? He says craziness at the darts at the Paddy Palace, beers everywhere. Matt, that's what I'm talking about. Let's have a PBA show where the people are in the back. Okay, they're a little bit far removed from the players. The players kind of have their own area. Let's give out beers to everybody, all right? A couple free beers with your entrance ticket, right? Kyle Cook. Kyle, glad, bro. Thank you, bro. He says Big Mike nailed it. Watch the steel tip dart tournaments. They need to be like that. They have a whole book to bet on, too. Kyle, I couldn't agree with you more. Matt, couldn't agree with you more. Let's have beers. Let's have the people in the back singing. Let's have entrance songs. Let's have players coming out on stage and appealing to the crowd before the match starts. Rob, let's have people abusing equipment when they lose. If that's what you want, I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. Let's have it. I don't think, it ain't like the most professional behavior, but hey, if somebody wants to put their fist through a scorer, go right ahead, bro. Go right ahead. Like, it's drama, it's emotion. It's emotion. We need emotion. All right. Are you ready to move on?
Yeah, let's talk about how to fix bowling, Mike, because I want to do this segment and I want to stay.
New segment.
And maybe I could get some kind of like graphic, but I'm not holding my breath at this point. But Mike, I want to start a segment that we talked about, like what one thing you could do, and maybe we start running out of ideas and have to like scrap the segment. But what could we do right now to grow the
in
sport?
3 weeks?
In 3 weeks,
We're going to run out of ideas in 3 weeks.
We might, but
No. In all seriousness, I could go on with this for as long as we go on with worst of the week.
yeah.
But all right, let's talk about it. Go ahead. You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
You go first. So,
Okay.
Mike, how would you grow the sport of bowling?
All right. So somebody mentioned earlier that high school bowling is exploding in their area, right? And high school bowling's strong. I think that's a fair general statement, right? High school bowling is strong. It's been strong for a while. High school sports is where a lot of kids get interested in the sport that they are going to be the best at, the most talented at that they could be, right? And one way, when you presented this new segment to me, my mind went right to high school bowling, just because I was a high school coach for a long time, and I saw an opportunity there. I saw an opportunity being lost. And the opportunity that was being lost is that we could have been not only bringing a lot of new players into the game, okay, because they're getting involved in it at the high school level, but we could have been taking those players, right, who might have started as a high school bowler, and we should have been doing a better job of integrating them into the regular side of USBC and league competition and that side of bowling, right? You have way too many kids out there who bowl high school and then don't bowl, right? You have other kids out there who bowl high school and bowl outside of high school, but they do it at an extremely high level. Okay. And I think you don't have enough that are in the middle. Okay. And what I say by that middle is kids who might not go on and do it at the highest levels. Maybe they don't want to bowl sport. Maybe they don't want to bowl junior gold or something, but they continue to do it regularly. Okay, where they become a league bowler going into their adult life, right? And we've seen the numbers in the USBC drop dramatically over the years, right? And again, I just from my own experience of coaching high school, I just felt like you're really losing an opportunity. Where are all these kids going? I used to ask myself that question. When high school ends, when high school bowling ends and only a small percentage of these kids go on to bowl in college, where do they, what happens? Why do they all just walk away from it and say, all right, I'm not going to bowl anymore? Where no matter where you go to school in the country, right? I don't care what school you go to in the country, there's probably a local league that you can find to join, right? And there's got to be other kids at that school who bowled in high school, didn't take it as a thing to do in college, and might want to bowl in a league or join a league, and it could be a social thing. So that to me, like using high school bowling as a way to build our numbers in the game, okay, build the game back up, would be something that would be a really smart idea to me as a starting point of where we can go to try and grow the game.
Mm.
There aren't many places you can look at across our game where the numbers are strong and there's a lot of involvement, a lot of participation. But high school bowling has that. Okay, high school bowling has that. Now, how do you do this? Right? It's obviously a very complicated question. I'm not going to be able to get into a full answer on that, but I'll give a couple suggestions. Okay, number one, you have to better train high school coaches. Okay, that's almost number one. Like you can't have people coaching at the high school level that, number one, don't really understand the technical way to coach the game. Okay. And number two, aren't aware of a lot of the outlets that their players can participate in outside of high school bowling. Okay. So you not only need to train the high school coaches to be better at coaching the game, and give them resources to help kids learn the game, right? But you also need to educate the high school coaches and provide them with information on what other outlets these kids can use to continue to be involved in the game outside of their high school experience, right? And if you want me to put that a different way, we need to have high school coaches knowledgeable enough about leagues and tournaments and different outlets to participate in the game, where when the high school season ends and they have, again, maybe it's not their whole team that's interested in continuing different outlets. Maybe it's only a portion of the team. But that high school coach should be able to tell those kids, okay, if you're interested in this and you want to continue to develop, here are the outlets through which you can do that. Okay. And I think right now, your average high school coach has no idea what those outlets are. And I think right now, the average high school coach knows very little to be able to help the players on their team improve in bowling and progress throughout the game. Right. So, again, I look at the numbers that we have in high school bowling. I look at the excitement around high school bowling, and I see that there's an opportunity. Okay, there's an opportunity to grow the game. There's an opportunity to have better coaching at that level, more involvement. Through that, maybe college bowling even starts to grow a bit. We've seen a lot of programs drop off. We just talked last week to Mark Jeffries about that, right? So, yeah, that would be my first suggestion in this segment, Rob, is go after high school bowling. Have the USBC, the PBA, Bolero. See, and this is the problem. Bolero is a big part of it, right? Like, Bolero with a snap of a finger could do so much to help and promote high school bowling, right? For instance, if you're a high school bowler, you get $1 a game practice whenever you want.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to talk about, because my strategy to grow bowling would start younger than high school. And I know you have the experience with high school bowling, and you're very aware of what's going on with high school bowling. I was in high school bowling. We had a very good program where I was, but even the coach never bowled that I was part of. So essentially, like, I coached the team. I mean, I literally brought the kids on the lanes. I gave them old equipment. I was teaching them, coaching them, and it was easy for me to get a kid who never bowled before and make him into a 170, 180 bowler, right? In a matter of like one season. Get a ball fitted, get his own shoes, help him out. I was fortunate that I had a lot of old equipment, but you need the coaches in the schools to do that, not the players, right? So for me, thinking about how I got into bowling, and bowling is a great sport. Okay. We always talk about like how, like, it could be better. There's a lot of things that could improve, but the actual sport of bowling is a great sport. We all fell in love with it. I mean, shit, we're doing a bowling podcast, right? So we love bowling, right? And you just need to get kids to it, right? You need to get them to it, and then you need to have people showing them the right way to do it. Right. And that usually starts in, like you said, a lot of it in high school. But for me, like, it's elementary school to middle school, right? Where you have to get these kids, at least get them to the bowling center and show them the basics, show them, maybe get them a bowling ball. The problem that we deal with now on a competitive level in the high school and middle school is bowling became really expensive. Right. And for a parent who wants to have a kid as a competitive bowler with these new bowling balls and shoes, and bowling's not a very cost-effective sport anymore. So what really needs to happen is there needs to be a push, and like you said, by a lot of the boards out there, the USBC, the PBA, Bolero, the BPAA, right? And they all need to work together. They all need to get rid of all the issues, work together, and figure out how to get kids to the bowling center and how to get them even basic trained, right? I don't know if it's having a deal for Bolero where these kids could come in for a couple hours, on a weekly basis, and have a coach there showing these kids how to bowl, get them introduced to the sport, get them into the bowling center, run some kind of discounts, deals, pro shop deals, right? Where you give kids half price on some of the bowling balls, right? Where if you're under the age of 13 or 15, you get a half price, whatever it is. But there needs to be What's that?
Make it more accessible is what you're saying.
It needs to be accessible. And it just needs to be a common goal for all across the high levels of the sport, right? I know, like Sean's in the chat. I know he does a lot of clinics, and there's a lot of like things like that could get kids introduced to it. But I think a lot of these kids, there needs to be a cool aspect of it too, right? Like being a bowler is cool, or in that aspect, because a lot of kids aren't going to want to do it because it's not the cool thing to do. So I think there needs to also be a social media push. There needs to be something, right? I'm not the guy that's going to be in charge of doing this, like, but these are just ideas to me that, like, how you grow the sport, you start from the kids and then you grow in them. Hopefully people like us that are doing a bowling podcast, and people like you that are in the chat that are listening and watching a bowling podcast, but you need to be introduced to it somehow. All right, Mike.
Is that our first segment? Are we done?
That's our first segment.
All right, say, listen, I think those are good ideas about how to grow the game.
It is. All right, Mike, you ready to wrap it up with some negativity?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go back to our usual par for the course, please. I feel dirty. I feel dirty after all this positivity. I just took a shower before the podcast. I'm going to take another one afterwards.
Dude, Sean's like Marshawn Lynch in the chat. He's just here so he won't get fined. So I had something to write, but I deleted it because I don't want to get fined. Write it, man. Just just go with it. All right, Mike. I'm going to talk about mine real quick, just so we can move on here. But so this was sent to us, and this post I'm not sure if this is a worst of the week, if it's a best of the week, if it's something we're going to see more of in a lot of bowling centers. But the post was, if you don't know, Jerry Kessler, he posted something in a chat called the Thunder Bowlers, and they posted a new house rule. Okay. The house rule, literally for the whole bowling center, for every league, Mike, is urethane and plastic is not to be used Sunday through Thursday on first balls for our leagues, all leagues, Mike. This is parallel to the USBC and college rule for bowling. You can use urethane or plastic for spares. I'm tired of people complaining about their lanes being ruined. It is unnecessary. Mike, thoughts on a bowling center banning urethane and plastic for their first ball on all leagues from Sunday through Thursday?
I mean, this is the level of ridiculousness we've reached. What do you want me to say? Like,
come on, people.
The squeaky wheel gets the oil, right?
Here's the thing, Mike. I always talk about how I hate
complaining. Somebody's bitching and complaining.
Here's the thing: is like I always talk about how I hate urethane, but like I always talk about it like our highest level, our PBAs, our US Opens, our Masters. But and I'm gonna say it, right, Bill? What's up, Bill, in the chat? Like, how are you gonna tell Mamma Mia to stop using like a urethane or a plastic ball for her first shot? Like, how are you gonna say tell Mamma Mia here to do that? Who's gonna
enforce this? That's what I want to know. Who enforces this?
Maybe they hire a security guard. Maybe they hire Sean Rash to go around in his bowling league, and if you're using a purple hammer on your first shot, then Sean boots you out of the league. I mean, what is this?
Does the manager walk around and like watch everyone throw a first shot and make sure everybody's using a ball that falls within the allowable rules?
Ball police. I just came up with a really good AI video. Stay tuned for that one this week. Rosie, who's 100 years old in New York, uses resin. I mean, where are we at right now? Where they're literally banning a Tuesday night Mamma Mia mixed league for people to use urethane and plastic on their first shot. Let the people bowl, man. Where the hell? Jesus Christ,
it's crazy.
It's crazy. Yo, Tim Buck. You know Tim Buck was gonna get brought up. Yo, there's a Tim Buck in the center as the monitor. I could just see he had like a whistle and like a top flight security shirt. Just walking around blowing the whistle when someone's trying to throw urethane. Good Lord.
It's crazy.
All right, Mike. What do you got? Worst of the week.
Mine's quick. I'm giving worst of the week to the PBA.
Oh, great. Love it.
Giving worst of the week to the PBA because if you're going to hype an announcement, there better be some hype behind the announcement.
Oh, you're talking about the new announcer.
I am.
Okay. Let's get into it because I have his bio pulled
What
up.
else do I need to say? Like, they hyped up the announcement like it was going to be some big news. Like, oh, new announcer. Oh, my goodness. New play-by-play guy. Like, hype it up. And, yeah, it's like a big dud. Like, who is this guy?
Okay. First off, I'm gonna defend the PBA here. Okay. I'm not saying you're wrong about the big hype up, right? Let's give this guy a chance before everybody writes him off immediately. This guy's been a professional broadcaster for decades. He was the main NASCAR play-by-play guy since 2015 on NBC. Okay. So this guy is a professional commentator. He is a professional guy. Now, everybody's like, well, does he know about bowling? Well, listen, does he know about bowling? Well, probably not. You don't know. Maybe he might be a local bowler. Even if he's not, they're going to pair up somebody who knows bowling, let alone if it's a Randy Peterson, if it's a Chris Barnes, whatever it is, right? They put a bowler with him and let the guy learn with his commentating experience. Like, I think it could be a really good hire, man. I really do. But people got to give the guy a chance. Let's hear it out for a while and see what happens.
Okay, I guess. I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot, but I'm just saying, if you're going to hype up an announcement, there better be some hype around it.
But I mean, like,
don't disappoint me like that.
Who could they have brought it?
Disappointing me like that.
What did you think they were going to say? What were you expecting?
To just come out with the announcement. Why hype it up?
Yeah. Let's see. Mark, what's up, man? Rob, my son bowled with your brother at Kegel today. Sorry to hear that. The kids from Weber threw urethane. If you didn't join the party, you didn't cash. That's where we're at in today's game, man. All right. Yo, Tobias, you need to have a Sweep the Rack Live podcast like the Mannings do on Monday Night Football.
We've done it before. Maybe we bring it back. Problem is I use a streaming service that's on like a 2-minute delay. So we had some great ones, honestly. We did one where we had Robert Smith on for a game.
Norm Duke.
We had one where we had Norm Duke on for a game with us. I mean, we've done some bangers of some live podcasts. So that is something that I wouldn't mind getting back into.
Yeah, I'm on 2-hour delay now, so you'd be like celebrating a strike, and I'd be like, "What happened?"
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, Mike, you ready to get this thing wrapped up?
Let's do it. Final thoughts, Rob.
I got nothing, man. Just want to wish everybody a really, really happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. I don't know.
We'll be on before the New Year.
Yeah, I think we could pop on to the Sunday. Yeah. I don't think we'll be on this Sunday, but maybe the following Sunday. But that would be following New Year's.
No, I think I don't know. We'll talk off the air. But
there's a chance we could be on Sunday.
We might even have something special for the people next week. There's discussion going on. We'll see.
Sean says, thanks for wasting my time tonight, man. We appreciate any time we could waste your time, my friend. Just want to wish everybody really Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Enjoy it with your family. Stay off your phones, people. Stay off your phones. Phone addiction is a real problem. You're with your family. There's parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles. Dude, life's too short. Stay off your phone. Enjoy the being in the moment with them. Just enjoy the company. Have great conversations, great food. Stay off your damn phone. Stay off of social media, unless you're watching my AI videos and my memes. Then liking
and subscribing to us. Yeah,
like and subscribe.
You know, Rob, I say that to my students every Friday. Like every Friday, I come in and I start class the same way. I'm a very routine based teacher. If you were in my class, you could almost predict what I'm going to do based on what day it is because I'm very routine based. So every Friday, I come in and I start class by saying, Happy Friday, everyone. Anyone have exciting plans for the weekend that they'd like to share? You know, because a lot of times there's things that kids are looking forward to on the weekends. They're excited about. It's Friday, etc. Blah blah blah. Right? And we go through that. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Oh, have a great time. And then the last thing I say to them is I say, well, whatever you're doing for the weekend, have a great weekend. I encourage you to get off your screens, get off the devices, put the phones down, put the Chromebooks down, put the video games away, shut the TV off, and spend some time with the people around you that matter, right? Because you're right, you're absolutely right. Like there's too much paying attention to our devices and not enough being present in the moment with the people that we're with, right?
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunately to say that life's very fragile, and next year at this time, there's a lot of people out there that aren't going to be with us.
Yeah, no doubt. So my final thought was just going to be, two things here. Number one, shout to Guppy Troop on getting into the
PBA. Big Gup, man. Big props to Gup.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, he's legendary entertainer, right? We talk about what the PBA needs right now. You know what they need? Need somebody like Guppy. And I know Kyle does a great job, right? And he's definitely one of those guys that we put in that category of people who entertain. But yeah, Guppy certainly one of the best. So awesome to see him get in. At the same time, Rob, not many people getting into the PBA Hall of Fame, and we talked about this in years past of how like it's going to be tougher and tougher with the requirements and the amount of events that they bowl and the amount of repeat titleists, etc. Right? So I think as we go forward, they're going to have to think about, and they've already made some adjustments, but maybe perhaps even more adjustments are going to need to be made in terms of what the requirements are to get into the PBA Hall of Fame. It's just interesting to see that there's not many people eligible.
It's a slippery slope because if you start moving the goalposts,
yeah, too much. No, I understand, but I also feel like that there are definitely some players out there that you could argue are deserving despite being outside the requirements. I do feel that way.
Remember we had Mike Fagan on when he was talking about I think that's a good one. But anyway, all right, Mike, let's get this thing wrapped up. I'm getting hungry and I turn into Joe Pesci when I don't eat.
All right, no doubt. We thank everybody for joining us. We appreciate everybody in the chat. Continue to hit us up. Email us, sweettherack@gmail. Join us on social media. He's at BrooklynRob11. I'm at the 215th. We do most of our interaction on X. Hit up our TikTok. Hit up our Facebook. As Rob alluded, he loves sending out the AI videos. Okay, so be on the lookout for those. Check those out.
Some of them are duds, and some of them they slap. But I keep posting them because I know some people like them. So
make sure you come on and call us names like dopes and cancers and things
and
of this
douchebags, and we don't grow the sport, and we're negative.
If you're looking for some Christmas gifts, if you're looking for some merch, if you want to start the new year with some fresh gear, InsideBowling.com, content creators, Sweet the Rack. We got plenty of T-shirts up there. Hook your people up. Like and subscribe. It helps us out. Click that button, especially if you're here every week. Make sure you help us out in that way. And that's about it, man. I don't know if we'll be back or not next week. I'm thinking we will. I'd like to do a show next Sunday. I'm going to be around. We can wrap up the year and kind of talk about end of the year things. We might have something special for the people. I don't know. We gotta reach out and see what the scheduling is like on that. But we'll see. Rob will definitely post something on social media and let you know what our schedule looks like for next week. But until then, everybody have a great Christmas if you celebrate whatever you're celebrating. Have a great whatever, and we will catch up with you guys next week.
There, guys.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big.